You are now watching The Lone Blown. Blown!
If you're looking for one of the best places to buy codes online, look no further than atlaspokemart.com. You can use the code TheLoneBlown12 to save 12% off all of your instantly emailed codes. They got a lot of great codes on this website, such as Darkness Ablaze, Rebel Clash, so if you're looking for anything to complete any of your collections, head over here, and the codes are great price as well. Thanks! Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? You're back here at The Lone Blown. Thanks so much for stopping by, and today we're going to be going over one of the best decks that we have in our current format, Mewtwo and Mew-GX. So on the channel last week, I covered this deck, and I was like, yo, I'm not entirely sure why this deck's on and poppin' again, but I actually play tested this deck, and I played it with my testing group, consisting of Gabe Smart, Daniel Zavilla, Jacob Chen, and Ethan Heggie. We did some testing with Mewtwo. We were deciding upon what was the best play for the Hyperlux. We ultimately decided Mewtwo had some great matchups because we went over what this deck can do. So I have, you can see I take notes about everything. I'm crazy. I'll just write on whatever. So I took notes on what it can actually do just so we don't actually forget anything here. Feel free to check out the list in the description over there or over there. I think it's over there actually, the way that YouTube's mirroring me. There's a bunch of things there. Check out my socials, check out my sponsors, check out some discounts. Be sure to subscribe to the channel while you're at it, which is somewhere around here. And share this video with the homies. So what do we do against Eternatus, you might be wondering. So Eternatus, you want to knock out a single prize card attacker. That's key. Then we have Muk Alolan Muk, which is actually a crazy combination. So we can use Nasty Goo Mix for the 4 extra energies, so 4 energies total, and you can do 15 damage counters. So since their decks don't really play switch for Eternatus, you go 15, at the end of their turn they're back on 15, you go Zigzagoon Ping, and then you use Mewtwo to copy Venom Shot to do 170 damage to a Crobat. So 10 on the Crobat, 170 snipe with Naganadel, and then on your turn coming back in, you knock out the Eternatus for a 5 prize card turn. So you either knock out the single prize card attacker first or after, but that's what you could do. Against Zacian ADP, you want to knock out the ADP quickly with Charizard-GX, doing 300 damage as soon as possible. And you don't want to bench too many of the 2 prize card Pokemon, such as Crobat V or Dedenne-GX. You only want to bench 1 copy of a 2 prize card Pokemon. That's just so they can't boss you out of the game. Against Obstagoon Decidueye, we can actually just go through with Nasty Goo Mix GX. You could also use Double Blaze GX as well. It goes through anything. And we also have Spreading Flames to power up those big attacks. Scentiscorch, we can you want to knock out their Volcanion, and then attack with Indeedee, because you could have a lot of energy on their Pokemon, so we're pretty good. You could Darkest Tornado the Senti if they attack into you. Versus Inteleon, if they attack into you, you could go Darkest Tornado GX. I mean, it should be a pretty okay matchup. They can't OHKO you, so they have to attack your Mewtwo. Don't overbench. Try to force them into attacking with the Mewtwo. And then they have to force themselves into Darkest Tornado GX. Against Mirror Match, the Grey Catcher is pretty key on knocking out a Mewtwo. You want to Welder to Mewtwo going second. You want to go second in this matchup. You also want to go second in the Scentiscorch matchup. Every other matchup you want to be going first so far. You want to go first in most matchups. And you want to get the first OHKO on a Mew3 if possible. That really puts you ahead in the matchup. Vicavolt's not really played. Control's not really played. Lucario Metal Double Blaze gets through Weakness Guard energy. Don't really bench your Mewtwo Pokemon. You want to bench the Fire type pokes. And you have the Shadow for Plant Stamp. So make sure that you use Indeedee if you need to with Watch Over, and that Darkest Tornado is always an out. So the way that we've scaled this deck is that we have a 3 energy attack, 3 energy attack. We got options that we can copy or use with Mewtwo, and we have an assortment of attackers that you can go through with this deck. Eldegoss getting things back, Charizard doing a lot of damage. This allows us to do Outrage or Flare Strike. This allows us to power up our Pokemon. Our Energy Burst works well against Scorch. Every Pokemon has a purpose, and the rest of the build is built on consistency. So we're just trying to have a very consistent deck. One of the weirder things we have in the deck would be 2 copies of Aurora, 2 copies of Horror Psychic. I know a lot of peeps talked about this when we were playing the deck on stream. We had Gabe Smart. They were able to go 5-2 with the deck, so they were playing on stream a little bit. And the commentators like, oh, why do they play Aurora Energy and Horror Psychic? Well, instead of just playing Horror Psychic, it allows us to open up options for Double Blaze GX because you need to have 6 Fire Energy. The Horror Psychic, the extra bonus damage is obviously awesome, but Aurora Energy, you can discard extra Pokemon from your hand. And there's fringe attacks too that you can use, such as Dedenne-GX, or you could even go for Injection GX, like just attacks that you couldn't normally do with Horror Psychic. We were torn and wanted to go 3-1. Horror Psychic to Aurora Energy, but we ultimately decided that 2-2 is fine since we couldn't reasonably get into one side or another. I don't know if there's anything that I'd really change. I know that Danny came second at the Azul Sub Tournament, and he had some thoughts on the deck as well. But ultimately, this deck is a very good starting point for Mewtwo, better than the list that I posted last week. And now that PTCGO is live with post-rotation, we can actually jump into some games. If you're missing any of the cards for this deck, feel free to go to atlaspokemart.com, plug in the code TheLoneBlown12. It's also in the description, and it's also in the promo video before this. They have one of the cheapest, if not the cheapest place to buy codes consistently online. Really reputable place, and they sponsored a lot of the tournaments around our area, so definitely check them out. Okay, that's enough of me blabbling on. Let's jump into some games and show you what Mewtwo can do. So we lost the coin flip, that's fine. We're okay going second because we are a welder deck. And while this isn't necessarily a great start, it's okay for now. So we're going to chill with what we got going on there. And our opponent playing Phalanx, I think. Okay. We can always pitch that away, yeah. So it is Phalanx. Phalanx is weak to Psychic. I can imagine that it's not the greatest matchup for our opponents. If we're actually able to find something, we might be able to win here this turn. So let's go Great Ball. Let's just search out something. No. We might be able to just go Double Blaze GX if we could find a switch. I like our odds of that. Okay, so let's go Cherish Ball. Let's get some more options in our discard pile. So let's grab Charizard here. And if worst comes to worst, like we just have a powered up Charizard. I'm gonna go Pokegear to see if we can get anything. Let's just grab our other boss's orders because we are trying to win the game this turn. Let's, come on, give us a switch. So we were able to win on our first turn of the game, but I think it shows you how resourceful Mewtwo can be. It can change into any kind of deck. Okay, so we won the flip. We don't know what we're doing against our opponent yet, so we're just going to go first. We typically want to go first with this deck. And we started with the Mewtwo. I mean, our hand's not bad. We have access to Cherish Ball. We can just attach a Horror Psychic energy this turn. So I like that we vibing. Okay. So, looks like we're playing against Zacian V. That's fine. We're going to go ahead, attach Horror Psychic. Our opponent, we're just going to leave our hand as is and pass, so our opponent thinks we have a bad hand. If you don't do much with your hand, your opponent usually is like, oh, their hand must suck. We have supporters in our hand that we just can't play this turn. So we'll see what they end up doing. This might be Lucario Melmetal, which might be a little bit difficult. Yeah, it looks like Lucario Melmetal. So we want to turn into a Fire-type deck, if possible. So we'll see exactly what our opponent really, what they come to play with. Victini can be hot in this matchup. Reshiram could be hot in this matchup. I don't know what our opponent's doing here. Maybe they'll just go Intrepid Sword. Okay, so they're going to match Lucario Melmetal. So there's the energy. Okay, so that's a pretty hot start from our opponent. Let's see what we Great Ball into. Nothing crazy here. Okay, let's just go Cherish Ball here. I really want to Welder to the Reshiram. I was gonna go Dedenne-GX, but quite honestly, I wasn't sure on how I wanted to handle the situation. Kind of in a rough spot here. So I'm just gonna vibe out. Hopefully next turn we could just top deck like a Giant Hearth or something like that. Maybe I should have went for the Dedenne-GX. I just couldn't knowingly Welder to my active Pokemon, knowing my opponent had a Lucario Melmetal that could have ripped our energies away with Full Metal Wall. They are going in with a Bronzong tech, so they might be playing a rip of the list that did really well at the Players' Cup that was just kind of released hours ago. A lot of peeps are pretty hyped about the deck. So maybe we'll cover that deck in the channel in the future, but they're just going to go Brave Blade. Pretty simple here. Okay, so we're actually just going to go switch into this. We're going to bring this up because it still has its weakness. And we're now just going to pitch this hand away for a Dedenne-GX. Not really worrying about the Mewtwo that's on our bench. At the end of the day, we are a Fire-type deck. So let's not worry too much about it. I am going to attach the Fire Energy here so we could just use the Flare Strike. And I think I'm going to vibe out. I don't know what I want to do with this hand. In case our opponent plays like Power Plant or something. So we're going to go for the Flare Strike. That's going to do enough damage to knock them out. Solid enough. There's our first 3 prize cards. Lots of switching cards, but that's okay. We vibe in. We do need to watch out for that Bronzong, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I think they're just gonna boss orders it up, see what's good, take their freebie attack. I mean, I don't see any reason why we don't go for this attack and then just power up another Mewtwo ourselves or something else. So I'm gonna go Cherish Ball here. Just want to double check we do have the Eldegoss in our deck. So let's go ahead and go for it. Let's go Quick Ball away Indeedee V. Grabbing a Mewtwo. Oh, no. I totally meant to grab Eldegoss. Jeez, I'm so bad sometimes. That's okay. I made a mistake there, but this deck can still recover. I totally thought I did it in the wrong order. And I thought I was going to grab the Eldegoss so I could Welder onto that Pokemon. But that's what you get when you play PTCGO blind. You gotta, one of the biggest skills that you could have playing this game is just making sure you know what you're doing. That's cool. We still vibe in. We're just going to attack with Flare Strike here. I feel pretty good about that. We're down to 1 prize card left, and our opponent needs to get Bronzong out in order to beat us. So we have the Cherish Ball, we have the Quick Ball. Let's just get it next turn. So there's the Bronzong. I mean, I believe they're going to get the Bronzong out. So the reason why they play this is so that they don't lose to the Fire-type decks. Now, if they don't reset stamp us, I think we have win in hands. But we'll see how it goes. I think they're going to grab like a... Actually, if they grab a Dedenne-GX or something like that, they might put themselves in a rough spot. I don't think they should put a Zacian V down or anything like that, because it does give us an out. You definitely don't want to like have Pokemon like that. You want to solo with the Bronzong up active. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure we can just win the game. We top deck the Eldegoss. So, I mean, let's go in here. We don't need the Mewtwo. I'm also fairly certain that, actually, we could just go in with Boss's Order. That's also an option. You can see there's just so many options with this Mewtwo deck. So, I know that wasn't the longest video that I've ever done, because our games went by super quick, but I did show the versatility of Mewtwo. I was honestly debating doing another game, but I'll let you know. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see another game with the Mewtwo, or if you want to see more Mewtwo content in the future. One of the best decks that we have in format, and you saw, even though I misplayed, we were able to turn one donk in the first one, and I missed the Eldegoss play to secure our win in the second one, but we still convincingly won against our opponent. So, realistically, Mewtwo is just a consistent, super strong powerhouse deck. Lots of options still. Even though it lost Magcargo, that's really one of the only things that it lost. And, I mean, this deck's still holding up to the competition. It has a lot of answers. So, maybe give the deck a try out. I think it's one of the coolest decks we got in the format. So, like I said, let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel for more great content. And I look forward to making more content for the rest of the week for you. Have yourself a great one. Thanks so much for watching. Use code TheLoneBlown to save when you're registering for Hyperlux events. It will save you on your registration, and there's some large prizes. Be sure to check it out. Really hope that you enjoyed watching that video. I totally enjoyed making it. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like the video, share the video with everyone that you know, and subscribe to the channel as well. Totally appreciate all the support. We got a lot of cool things happening on the channel, so stay tuned for more. Be sure to check out the social links in the description. Thanks, and have yourself a great one.